Hello YouTube, this is Wakia Lion coming to you pre-record from his camper. Going off the previous video, the underlying moral essence of Chaldeanism is that of debt, respect, harmony, and honor, in the ways that Chaldeanism views such resources within its own framework. These ethics and morals being the refined material and fuel that will give life to the mechanism of the natural order and Chaldeanism as a whole. This video will discuss the source, the wellspring, from which these morals and ethics are to be harnessed and shaped by the 10 lords that govern the worldview of the natural order. That source being the 12 zodiac signs. The overall core idea of the zodiac signs is to naturally regulate our sex drive. Mating season, in other words. The idea is simple. If everyone is synchronized to have and make children at the same time of year, then society as a whole can better organize itself around a central theme, cause, and shared experience that will better familiarize people with one another and make them feel more trustful and connected. This will also create a shared identity, regardless of how different everyone may be, that they can fall back on as the one thing, untouched by the laws of man or the degradation of society's character, that helps people stay connected during the worst of downturns and the most forgetful of upturns. This mutually shared experience that everyone has is the glue, keystone, spit, and gum that the entire worldview is held together by. This is where the tribe is born and bred in every way that a tribe could possibly be construed as. An identity, an organization, a hierarchy, an aesthetic, a system of child rearing, focuses of industry, belief systems, anything that can be seen and understood of a people, this is where it fundamentally is. This is also where the collective focus of society is directed on a year-to-year basis. I imagine that mating season would be considered a very big deal, to the point of being a nation-spanning festival that the Chaldeans would prepare all year for. Practically the driving force behind society's will to survive, thrive, and glorify. And the whole point why you would work all year for, as insinuated in the Saturnian-based economic system. This is the incentive to care about anything, even about yourself, beyond immediate gratification. This is also where, though the lords and their temples might be the concepts by which we govern ourselves, this gives the answer to the "but in what way" that would pop up. In what ways do we prepare for war? What type of theater of war should we pursue? In what way do we develop our manners? By what vision do we focus our theaters of industry? In what colors do we pursue our aesthetics? By what forms of education should be pursued? Technical or collegiate? Psychology or spirituality or philosophy? By what prism do we decide what is and is not a priority? This is also where the idea of prioritizing the individual becomes a key aspect of the Chaldean worldview and promotes a bottom-up system of governance rather than a top-down. What mating season is, just as it is in nature, is a time to test one's mettle and character, to prove that they uphold the strengths most desired by the lords and the society as a whole, and is, therefore, a place to focus the personalities of society in a direction that promotes the life-affirming virtues and, hypothetically, burns away the life-denying vices of the tribe's collective. This is an appropriate environment where one is supposed to be self-expressive and to openly show who they are, to flaunt and show off their virtues through the rituals that are made in the image of the Lord's, and is therefore a focus of traits that are revealed and reveled in by the people, whether that is gentleness, patience, aggression, organizational skills, memorization, athleticism, wordcraft, work ethic, thriftiness, whatever it may be that the Lord should test in according to their nature and in whatever image that they are set in according to its archetype. This also acts as a solid concept of what to look for in someone who is an undesirable. If said person isn't a part of the courting games, as the rituals would be called, and they're trying to seduce you, I couldn't think of a more obvious red flag, honestly. As stated before, the courting games would be something that the lords all participate in, their own ways being a guiding light in what ideals we are looking for in what type of games should be conducted. The games, however, is something that the temples of Mars and Venus are centrally focused on. Sex is, after all, their primary domains of influence, and their themes are the bedrock id by which all of society is built on top of. Predation and prey, athleticism and elegance, focus and discernment. These two are the core of the household, of the family, because these two represent the core of any society. Mom and dad in their rawest form, before they ever even have children. Their roles are a bit more straightforward, hosting the games as a whole and laying the groundwork for what the overall direction should be. When it comes to the other lords, they are more like variances of the overall festival, places where more particular traits could probably be more appropriate to show off, like intellectual skills for Mercury and Jupiter, or artistic flares such as what the sun could represent, or industrial showmanship with Saturn, mathematics, organization, etc. In all likelihood, the other lords would probably cooperate with Venus and Mars in fully fleshing out the games, to develop games that promote intelligence as well as strength, Mars and Mercury as an example, but in a Taurian way, pulling a plow while paying attention to how you do it to be the most efficient in harvest. Or it could be in Gemini, being able to coordinate with another person and trying to put sandbags on top of a small mountain and figuring out the best way to communicate with each other while doing so. Both sexes are expected to participate in the games, though it is guessed that the women will do most of the picking over the men, as is the case in nature. I have my own ideas, but I think it would be much more appropriate for the individuals in the tribes of Chaldeanism to decide on how to best go about the actual selection rituals. My idea was a simple one. A Temple of Mars, a battle royale among the men, with the women acting as nurses on the side, picking whichever guy strike their fancy during the festival to cater to when he needs a patch-up. The particular reason why the men are also the ones who are in the battle royale, other than the women not wanting to get their butts beat bloody, is that there are 2 festivals a year, not just the mating season one. There is also the birthing season, the time when it's the woman's time to shine rather than the men. You can probably see the lunar and solar character in these festivals. The birthing season would be a much more settled down period, I would think, over the more rambunctious mating season. This will be a time where I think the other 2 lords that directly govern the tribal natural order pyramid would come in, Pluto and Earth. Pluto being the one who oversees the birthing process, and Earth being the one who graces the children, the mothers, and the fathers in a festival honoring their blessings and, in return, honoring the Earth as home. Thank you, dear listener. If you like the video and my writing, I suggest checking out my library on Facebook through Google Cloud. My book, Warren, is a set of stories placed in the world of Warren and heavily influenced by many different ideas and beliefs that I hold in both high regard and close to my heart. Again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to lecturing you again in the next video. Bye.